Hi guys, it's Partsful. I also go by Will, and I am back with another sketchbook tour. Now, this is another sketchbook that I'm not really super happy with, but then again, I have a few sketchbooks that I generally have around. I think I have two right now, which I don't really like the quality of the paper, or I don't really like what goes in them, so I just have them around to grab in case I need to go somewhere mobile. But this one I've been trying to get through because it looks very thin, but it's actually like 70 pages because it's 35 sheets of thin and kind of blah paper. And I was trying to get through it, but it took me longer than expected, especially since the paper I cannot talk today, and I am getting a little bit of sore throat. I'm sorry. The paper quality of it really impacted my desire to draw in it, because whenever I go back to it, I would know that this paper quality sucks. Because anything that was I don't know if juicy is the word, but any ink that was a little bit heavier than a ballpoint pen would bleed through it, and this included like your basic ink washes or any sort of marker. I believe like even Crayola had some ghosting on the other side. So it was not really great or inspiring to work in it. So, but it is done. And just so you guys have a little bit of context of what kind of sketchbook this is, what size it is. This is more of the purview that I normally have for my sketchbooks, maybe a little bit smaller. It's a little bit smaller than a 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to say a little bit smaller than that because I actually don't know the exact measurements, because I ripped these pages, I tore them out of a old sketchbook that I was basically putting into storage, so I wouldn't have taken the entire thing. And I turned it into a new sketchbook after I trimmed all the pages down and fixed them from being, torn at the edges. But, so it was already recycled from an old sketchbook, which I cut out and then I trimmed down again, and then I hole punched it, which gives it spiral bound, which reduces the drawing space more. So it's I think it's a lot thinner than I'm used to, but I did make it. I do make my own sketchbooks now. I also enjoy getting handmade sketchbooks from other artists, so I like those. But I just find handmade sketchbooks are just fun and unique, and you can have a blank cover on it, so you can stick whatever stickers on it you want. In this case, I stuck some washi tape on the sides, and a Redbubble sticker, and some birds, and a Batman, and a cat. And then I was practicing my hand lettering on top here, so it's not really complex, but it was something I enjoyed, and I like being able to sticker my sketchbook covers, because I feel like it makes each one of them a little bit more unique. So yes, please excuse me if my throat starts to die. I am getting a little bit of sore throat, as I said earlier, but I will try and get through this. So I normally have like a post-it note. I feel like that's redundant. I have a thing to write notes in, and this, it wasn't even like fake cardboard or anything. This is just a piece of like tag board or something that was in a different, I think this was like part of the tag board that was a part of a manual of the sketchbook press that I have, and I didn't use it, and I wasn't going to use it anymore, so I just turned it into cover here. So I took a regular piece of paper and I taped it in so I could write on it. And I started it in August, but then I took a break, and then I moved back to it when I was just looking for what I thought was a smaller, quicker sketchbook, but it did not end up being a smaller, quicker sketchbook. And I'm kind of frustrated about that. Mostly because it does not look all that thick, and I think part of it is also because this sort of covers some of the paper because it's so thin, but it looks a lot thinner than it actually is. And yeah, you can even see right here that this is where it starts to bleed through. So really the only safe thing to use on this is like pencils and ballpoint pen, which I did use a lot of, but I do like, being able to draw on both sides of the paper, and if I can't, then it doesn't really... It's fine, it appeals to me less now. and I can always tape over with post-it notes and stuff like that, but it's not the same. So I did some sketches of Alexi. This is a referenced picture for some reference photo practice. Some more OC stuff with some stylization stuff from back in, what was this, September? More just practice and stylization stuff. This is me testing out a pen that I got. And you can see on the back, this bled through horribly. And this just was like an ink pen. It wasn't a ballpoint, but it was a liquid ink pen. And it did not work out super well. Ballpoint pen and highlighter with my character Vinka again. Some Jinx and ballpoint pen and highlighter. This was when I drew some food stuff here. And then this is when I was working with my character Esme. And you can see like there's like gaps and days in between things. So I started this in August and then I went to September. And then like there's 4 days between when I drew this again. So originally this was just a mobile sketchbook that I used. I actually like this one. I forgot that's what's in here. But I turned it into like a daily sketchbook around this point in time because this is when I like stopped drawing it for a while and forgot about it for like several weeks until I went back in October. This is Heathcliff from Sword Art and Line Abridged. This was spider makeup that I did. I actually want to turn this into a like monochrome sticker piece. This is another picture of a coworker that I did during Halloween. Not like Halloween, but close, when I was working at the Haunt. Some more sketches of character stuff and RP stuff. So Sandoval, Dean, and Ada. Some face shape sketches. More Sandoval. Claudius, Sandoval again. This was when this area specifically, like all of this is like 3/4 of the sketchbook is when I really started using this as a day-to-day sketchbook. And I got super sick of it super fast. So, picture of Yver, Esme, and Sandoval. This is around the time when I finished my last sketchbook and shifted to this one and started working on stylization stuff. Still hasn't turned out completely correct, but it's been going alright. This one is when I was looking at Frozen again. Because I really like the coronation dress, but I was comparing it to the actual dress they put her in for most of the movie, and I did not understand why the like blue sparkly dress was so unappealing to me. Like if other people like it, that's totally fine, but for me, there were some parts of it I just did not get. No shape studies, random doodles of OCs. More Sandoval. One of my friends made a joke about how one of our other friends couldn't make a sandwich properly, so I had to draw something themed around that. In one of the RPs, an older Sandoval got murdered. Esme with some zig markers. This is more nose shape studies, but this is more using the same shape to try and get different noses depending on how you form lines. And this was me scribbling something at like 2 in the morning, trying to figure out a perspective thing, and it didn't work because it was 2 in the morning. I was using a lot of this purple zig marker, then I do really like it and how desaturated it is. I think I might have to use it more in my upcoming sketchbooks, especially with like a pastel. Then some psychic study stuff, like Sandoval and Esme are psychic, and I was doing some practice stuff with their powers and how I would draw them. Then Esme in a dress and some brush pen Esme. Doodle of lamb in here because I have to have at least one of the lieutenants in every single sketchbook apparently. The more Yver. Some more stuff with Sandoval's psychic powers. And I've been working on like fashion stuff for Esme, and I kind of really like the concept of high collars and gloves. Because especially when, later in the story, he gets his arm cut off and has a prosthetic, and he likes to cover that up with like long gloves. So I kind of want to do something with like turtlenecks and long sleeves or long gloves. Hence why I was looking at the Elsa coronation dress. I got into Sunless Sea, and this is where you can see like ink wash really bleeds through if it's a dark enough ink wash. I inked on the other side, and it did not turn out super well. This is Alexi again, except it got turned into a Revenant. Esme. And you can see here, this is Crayola marker. This purple is Crayola marker, and it ghosted super, super bad on the other side of this. So I just took another piece of paper, and I just taped it in with another sketch on it. This is one of my antagonists in the Pokemon universe's Pokemon. He got a Mimikyu that he gave clothes, but he keeps calling the Mimikyu stupid, so it doesn't like him. He named it after the stupidest person you know, which was his ex-co-worker. Some eye studies. More stuff with Sandoval for character stuff, because Sandoval has some issues with how he expresses affection. I still can't talk. Another taped in page because the other page had like a nice illustration on it, so I didn't want to risk screwing it up. And then I filled most of these last page. I think all of this is in the same day, and this is just me getting really frustrated with the entire thing and going, I'm gonna finish this today even though I have so many pages left, and I'm just gonna start filling it with gesture drawings and studies. So I started with arms, because I figured if I can learn how to gesture arms very quickly and effectively, then that will help me with my sketching process. A bunch of eye studies in different styles, just trying out how to draw them in different stylization stuff. Some nose stuff, and eyes again. And again, this is like in the middle of me trying to restyle my art. So it's a process, but it involves a lot of just testing out a bunch of different things that may or may not look nice. After I did all the gestures, I decided to take my sister's character Marcus, because Marcus is pretty easy to draw, and try and do some stylization there. This is from Cycler's video talking about the face dong to make sure you get the eyes and the nose proportionately apart. It kind of worked for me. I gotta practice that a little bit more. Some more style stuff. I didn't like how this one turned out because I felt it looked too flat. And there's just like a bunch of different style stuff here that I did based on different attempts at eyes and eye shapes and things like that. I actually really like this one and this one, but we'll see how it goes. And then like dumb scribbles here in the back. This one's also pretty cute. But yeah, we'll see how it goes for the next one. This was actually a lot shorter than my last sketchbook tour, probably because I was just trying to get through it. I was concerned that because I'm not super fond of this sketchbook, it would affect how my, well, I actually don't need to guess on that. I know that if I don't feel confident showing a sketchbook, it'll affect the video quality. But hopefully that's just something I'm gonna get used to. Either way, thank you so much for your support. I don't think I linked anyone, but I think I will probably link my sister in the description just because a lot of her Marcus stuff is in this sketchbook, a lot of her character stuff. And, as usual, if you want to shoot me any questions or have anything you want me to look at or want to say to me, you can put that down in the comments, or you can message me on any of my social media, which is down in the description below. This includes my Patreon, which I will also link on my quote-unquote end card, which I don't actually have any to get to work on. And that, if you do that, if you become one of my patrons, you can actually see my daily sketch dumps, which, I do, I will take pictures of and I will post. So if you would like to see my daily sketch dumps, those are available on my Patreon. And yeah, overall, thank you guys so much for your support. I'll see you later. Bye!